recipe. Without much further ado, let's just start with today's recipe. So here I've just soaked some red chilies, washed them, cut off the tips, and again soaked them in some water for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now all the other ingredients that we need are as follows. We require about 1 inch of ginger, which I've just chopped up into smaller pieces, 15 cloves of garlic, 15 peppercorns, 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds or jeera, about 6 cloves or lavang, 1 inch of cinnamon or dalchini, half a teaspoon of rye or mustard seeds or mohri, half a teaspoon of haldi or turmeric powder, about 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and some salt to taste. And these are the soaked red chilies. So now we're going to grind all of these ingredients in our mixer. We're not going to add any water at all. And we are going to grind it to a very, very fine paste. You can transfer the paste to a bowl and reserve the water for using later. Now we're just going to put this paste onto 400 grams of meat. Now I am using chicken. You can use mutton or you can use pork, and you can keep this aside for 12 hours. It has to be marinated for at least 12 hours. Now after 12 hours, we're going to heat about 4 tablespoons of oil in a pan, and I'm going to fry 4 medium-sized onions till they're nice and golden brown in color. Now I'm going to add the marinated meat along with all of this lovely masala. We're going to fry this extremely well. I'm just going to add 1 slit light green chili, and now I'm going to add the reserve water that we had set aside yesterday or 12 hours before, and we're going to mix everything together. Now you can give this a little taste just to see if you want to adjust the salt or the vinegar, and then I'm going to add about 1.5 cup of hot water, and then we're going to let this simmer for at least 15 to 20 minutes, and there our vindaloo is all ready. I like to have it with some soft pao or some Goan rice. So let's see today's quick and easy chicken sorpatel. So I'm going to show you how to make the Goan sorpatel masala recipe. It's super simple. Now these are the few ingredients that we're going to be using. So let's go through the spices. So this is about 10 peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of cumin or jeera, an inch of cinnamon or dalchini, 6 cloves or lavang, 15 dried Kashmiri chilies, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi, about 1 inch of ginger, 10 cloves of garlic, 1/4 cup of vinegar, a lime-sized ball of tamarind soaked in 1/4 cup of warm water, and we're going to extract the pulp for the recipe. Now besides that, we're going to use 2 light green chilies which I've slit and cut into half, 1 medium-sized onion chopped fine. Now we're going to grind all the ingredients except the green chilies, the onion and the tamarind pulp. Rest all of the ingredients are going to be ground in the white vinegar or if you have Goa vinegar, you can use Goa vinegar. And I'm not going to add the turmeric powder into my mixer pot. I'll be adding it later. But if you want, you can add the turmeric into your mixer jar too at this point. Now we're going to grind this with only vinegar. And we're going to make this into a very, very fine paste. So this is the vinegar that I'm adding. And we're going to grind this to a very, very fine paste like this. So our Goan sorpatel masala paste is ready. And today I'm going to be making chicken sorpatel, which is really very easy and quick. And whenever you're craving for sorpatel and you don't want to go to the tedious process of cutting up the pork and boiling it, this is a super fast recipe and it tastes super delicious. So let's start with the recipe. Now here I'm heating about 1.5 tablespoons of oil in a pan. And what I've done is I've just taken about 250 grams of boneless chicken breast, fried it in a pan in oil, and then just chopped it up into small pieces. And whatever stock you get when you're frying that, use that for the recipe too. Now once my oil is nice and hot, I'm going to be adding the onion. And we're going to fry the onion really well till it becomes nice and translucent. Now once the onions are translucent, I'm going to add my masala paste. And we're going to fry this paste really well for almost 3 minutes. We want the paste to be really nicely fried. So now here I'm adding the turmeric powder or the haldi powder. You could add it also when you're grinding the paste. So now once everything is nicely mixed, you can see that the paste itself starts, oozing out some kind of oil. At this point, you're going to add the fried chicken cubes. Now chicken cooks really fast. So we're going to mix everything really well together. See that the chicken is nicely coated with all of the masala. And now I'm going to add 1 cup of hot water. I've just microwaved 1 cup of water. Just add that and mix everything really well together. Now we're going to cook this for about 3 minutes till everything gets nicely cooked. And now I'm going to season it with some salt taste. And I'm also going to be adding a pinch of sugar. This is completely optional, but the sugar does elevate the taste of, the entire dish. Now mix everything really well together. And we're going to cover and cook this for 5 minutes on a low heat. After 5 minutes, you'll see that the curry here or the sorpatel has thickened a bit. We're going to add our green chilies. Mix it in well. And now we just have one more ingredient to add. And that is the tamarind pulp. So what I suggest is go a little easy on the tamarind pulp because we've also added vinegar. So add a little, just give it a taste test. And if you feel that you want to add more, then you can add a little more. Mix everything really well together. And again, I'm going to cover and cook this on a very low flame for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, turn off the heat and your sorpatel, your chicken sorpatel is all ready to enjoy. Do give this recipe a try and let me know in the comments section how you like it. I'll catch you in my next video. Of chicken, and I've just made some slight incisions in the chicken. Now we need some coriander, about a bowl of fresh coriander, 5 to 6 light green chilies, the juice of 1 lemon, 10 cloves of garlic with half an inch of ginger. Then I require half a teaspoon of pepper powder, half a teaspoon of cumin powder, about 10 cloves, half an inch of cinnamon. Now we're going to grind all these ingredients except for the 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. We're going to grind them just using the lime juice. We're not going to add any water, and we're going to grind it till we get a nice thick paste, thick and smooth paste. Now this is going to be a marinade for our chicken. So we are going to put this on our chicken, apply it well to the chicken. See that all the pieces get coated very well. Now we're going to add the turmeric powder. So I'm using about 1/4 of a teaspoon of haldi powder, turmeric powder. And then we're going to coat the chicken very well with this paste. And after we do that, we're going to marinate it and leave it for about a minimum of 1 hour. If you can keep it overnight, there's nothing like it, because then the flavor really, it really elevates the flavor of this dish if you keep this marinated overnight. Now, once we have finished with marinating the chicken, we're just going to heat some oil in a pan, and we're going to put our chicken pieces into it, and we're going to brown the chicken well on both sides. So you can keep turning the chicken on and off so that both sides get nicely browned. Now apply the remaining marinade, whatever is remaining, because it is full of flavor. So just apply it to the chicken. Now add the reserve water. What the reserve water is that when once we grind the paste in the mixer and we wash the mixer pot, the water that we get is called reserve water. If you don't have that, just use regular water, half a cup of water. And now we're going to cover and cook this for about 5 minutes. Now in the meantime, we're going to heat some oil in another pan, and I'm going to be adding some very thinly sliced potato rounds. This is a must for Cafrial. I mean, it really brings out the flavor of the dish. Also, cut some onion rings and keep aside. So we're going to fry both the potatoes. First, we're going to fry the potatoes till they're nice and golden brown. And then after we're done with the potatoes, we're going to fry the onions till they're nice and golden brown. Now here, our chicken is almost ready. So fry the potatoes well. And then just coat the chicken with the lovely green masala. And now our chicken is all ready. You can just check the chicken by just inserting a knife or a fork, and it should really break very easily, as well as it should be nicely cooked well. Now what I like to do is I like to add the fried potatoes and onions into this chicken itself and then coat it with the green masala. If you like, you can just serve it separately as a side dish. It really tastes good anyway. So now I'm just going to be adding my fried potatoes and fried onions to this dish, and I'm going to let the masala coat all of the meat and the chicken. I mean the chicken and the potatoes and the onions. And friends, our chicken casserole is all ready. This goes well with rice, with chapatis, puris, bread, pav, anything. It's just so very delicious. So I hope that you like this recipe very much. And if you did, then don't forget to leave it a big thumbs up. Please do subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button that you see just below this video. And once you have subscribed, just click the little golden bell so that every time I put up a new video on my channel, you get a message so you can see what is Akshata putting up on her channel, and you can enjoy the recipes and the vlogs. So friends, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care guys. Bye. Today's recipe is this amazing Goan jeera meera. It goes amazingly well with some fresh and soft pav or even some steamed rice. And welcome back to Akshata's recipes. Well, today I'm going to be showing you a Goan traditional recipe. It's called jeera meera. I'm going to be using chicken in my preparation, but you can make this with beef, you can make this with mutton. You can also try it out with some white pomfret. It tastes simply delicious, and it's made with very few ingredients which we regularly use in our daily cooking. Now I'm going to show you how to make this jeera meera powder or masala, which you can store in your refrigerator, and whenever you want to cook up this dish, you just use it. So every time you don't need to make this powder base, you can just make it and store it in your refrigerator in a nice clean dry glass bottle. Now just as the name goes, jeera meera. Jeera stands for jeera or cumin, and meera stands for miri or pepper. So you use pepper and cumin and some few other spices and prepare this masala, and the end result is simply divine. Now I personally like to have it with some fresh pav. It also goes very well with chapati or puri, as well as with some lovely steamed rice. I will also leave a link in my description box as to how do I prepare rice, just like my grandmom used to do it. So I'll leave it down in the link below, and it's a very healthy way of preparing rice. So I'll leave a link, go and check it out. I have a load of other Goan recipes under my playlist Goan recipes. So if you go on my homepage and go to the playlist section and just search for Goan, you'll get a whole load of Goan recipes, and I will be uploading many more too. So I hope you liked today's recipe, and I hope you give it a try. And let me know in the comments box below how you liked it. If you did, then don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button that you see somewhere here down the screen and become a part of Akshata's Recipes family. And once you have subscribed, do click the bell so every time I put up a new video or a vlog, you'll get a message for the same. So let's head on to my kitchen and start making this amazing chicken jeera meera. So let's start by making this jeera mere masala. Now remember, this is just enough for 250 grams of chicken. I will leave instructions for a little bigger batch, which you can store in your refrigerator in a clean, dry glass bottle. So this is just enough for today's recipe. That is the measurement of the spices. I'm going to be using 4 teaspoons of cumin powder or jeera powder, 3 teaspoons of black pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of clove powder. Now just roast these whole spices separately and just grind them in your mixer pot. 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder, and half a teaspoon of red chili powder. So just mix all of this together, and that is your spice powder or jeera mere powder ready. Now these are the measurements for a little bigger batch, so you can make this and store it. It does have a long shelf life, about a month or 2 months, and you can use them for making fish jeera mere or beef jeera mere. Now let's go to the other ingredients that we're going to require for this. So I'm making it with the chicken. So I'm using 250 grams of boneless chicken breast, which I've just cut into small cubes. 2 medium-sized onions chopped roughly. 5 cloves of garlic and 1 inch of ginger crushed into a paste. 1 small tomato chopped. 2 light green chilies, which are the less spicy ones, slit and then cut into half. 1 medium-sized potato, peeled, chopped, and just kept in some water so it doesn't get discolored. 1 tablespoon of tamarind soaked in half a cup of warm water. We're going to squeeze out the juice, and some salt to taste. And of course, this amazing jeera mere powder, which is so aromatic, and it gives such a beautiful flavor to the dish. So let's begin making this jeera mere recipe. I'm going to start by heating 2 tablespoons of oil in my pot. Once my oil is hot, I'm going to be adding in my onion, and I'm going to be sauteing it till it gets nice and translucent on a low to medium flame. You got to saute it well till the rawness of the onion goes away. Now we're going to add our ginger garlic paste that we have crushed up in a mortar and pestle. We want a little coarse paste, not a very fine paste. You can use a fine ready-made paste too, or I have a recipe for how to make ginger garlic paste at home. I'll leave a link below. You can use that. Now just add your slit green chilies. Now if you want it less spicy, you can keep it to 1 green chili, because we are adding some red chili powder too. So either you alter the amount of chilies or you alter the amount of red chili powder. Now we're going to add the chopped up tomato. And now what is very important is fry all of this very well so that they get nice and cooked. So fry this for about a minute or so. Now this jeera mere, once it's ready, it always tastes better on the next day somehow. And now once everything is well done, you can add your cubed chicken. And it's also very important to fry the chicken very well for a minute or so. Now you will come to know, because the chicken turns from a pink color to a white and then a slightly brown. You get a little slightly brown tint. This is also very key that you fry it very well with this bagar. So like I was saying, it tastes always amazing the next day. I think with most of the Goan dishes, even sorak or, any kind of curry, always tastes better the next day once kept overnight in the refrigerator. Now we're going to add this jeera mere powder that we've just prepared. Again, mix this in well and fry it in well. Now, I remember in the good old days when my grandmom used to make this, she used to actually grind, the green chilies and the ginger garlic and a few of the whole spices on the grinding stone. Sometimes I used to be delegated that job. And even that used to add a different flavor to this dish. But of course, in today's modern age, we need to, be quick and prepare things on an easier basis. So now I've just drained the water from the potatoes and I've added it to the chicken. Now, if you don't like potatoes in your curries, you can drop out the potatoes. I love potatoes in my curry. Even in my chicken curries, I love adding potatoes. I don't know, it just gives a different flavor to the recipe. And I think most Goan dishes, meat dishes, do call for potatoes in the recipe. Of course, if you're making this with fish, then please don't add potatoes. It will really taste very weird. So now you're going to add just 1 cup of water at room temperature. Just mix in everything very, very well. Now this water is going to cook our chicken as well as our potatoes. So now we're going to put a high flame to our pot and we're going to let it all come to a boil. That's very important, that it boils on a high flame. And once it starts to boil, then we are going to simmer it. So it's very important that the entire pot starts boiling on a high flame. And then once it starts to boil, we're going to simmer or slow down the flame. And now it's time to add some seasoning. So we're going to add salt to taste. I've added about 3/4 of a teaspoon. It's always better to add less salt first and then, taste it later and find that if you find the salt is less, then add the salt later. And now we're just going to squeeze out the tamarind pulp and just use the juice that we've squeezed out and add that to our recipe. We're going to stir in the salt and the tamarind juice well in the dish. When I was making this jeera mere, my entire home was smelling so amazing and it just reminded me of my grandmom's home. And then just cover this and cook it on a very, very low flame for about 10 to 15 minutes, stirring in between, checking in between. You can add a little more water if you find that it's drying up. And after waiting patiently, just cut up some soft, fresh pao and just pour this amazing jeera mere in a bowl. Doesn't it look really delicious? You have to make this to actually relish the deliciousness of it, the aroma of it, and it's really, really a different kind of dish. It reminds me of a kind of a stew, although it's not exactly a stew, but it just goes, I think, best with pao. The pao just soaks in all the deliciousness and goodness of this jeera mere. So the beef jeera mere tastes different, the fish tastes different, so you can try it out and let me know in the comments box below how your jeera mere turned out. You can also pour it on some lovely hot steamed rice and it tastes amazing. And the potatoes also just taste divine with all of this. So today we're going to make this delicious Goan recipe called shakuti. So keep watching.
Hi everyone and welcome to Akshata's recipes. Today's recipe is a Goan delight called shakuti and it is really super simple to prepare. It's an ideal weekend recipe and it goes very well with pav or bread or even chapatis, rotis or some steamed rice or even some pulao. So I hope you like today's recipe, and if you do, then don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and become a part of Akshata's Recipes family. And once you have subscribed, click the bell so you won't miss out anything happening on my channel. So let's just jump straight ahead into today's recipe, shakuti.
So let's see what ingredients we require for this lovely recipe. These are all the ingredients that we require. So let's go through each of them. Here is 1/4 teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon of peppercorns, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds or dhania seeds, half a tablespoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 5 pods of elaichi or cardamom, half an inch of cinnamon or dalchini, 6 cloves or lavang, 1 star anise, 1 mace or javitri, 1 tablespoon of poppy seeds or khaskhas, 1/4 teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds or methi seeds, 1 teaspoon of shaha jeera or black cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of fennel seeds or saunf, 2 bay leaves or tej patta, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg powder or zaifar. You can just grate it on a small grater. 6 cloves of garlic, half an inch of ginger, and about 6 red chilies. You can even use the Goan red chilies. 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric or haldi powder, half a teaspoon of garam masala, and half a teaspoon of red chili powder. Or you can increase it according to your taste. So these are all the spices that we require. You can even roast them and grind them and keep them aside the day before you plan to make it. Then we require 1 medium onion sliced. We also require 1 small onion diced, 2 light green chilies slit, 1 cup of fresh coconut grated. We also require half a cup of coconut milk and a lime-sized bowl of tamarind soaked in some hot water. And I'm going to be using about 350 grams of chicken. You can make this with beef, with mutton. And like I said, half a cup of coconut milk. So now let's begin with making this amazing shakuti. So in a pan, I've just heated up the pan a bit and I'm going to roast all my dry spices in it. That is the peppercorns, the javitri, the star anise, the poppy seeds, the cardamom, cinnamon, bay leaves. So we're going to roast this on a low to medium flame. And we're going to roast this for just about 5 minutes. And you will get a lovely aroma of these dry spices. Keep stirring, don't leave them unattended. And then once they have cooled to room temperature, grind them to a very, very fine powder. Now in the same pan, I'm going to add just half a teaspoon of oil, and I'm going to fry the ginger, the garlic, and the dried red chilies. We're also going to add the medium-sized onion, which we've just sliced. So fry all of this well in a little bit of oil till the onions turn to a lovely golden brown color. Now the frying of all these spices and roasting of the spices is a very key element in getting the right flavor for this shakuti. So fry it well. Now this is the fine powder. You have to make it into a very fine powder. Now, like I said, you can also use the Goan chilies that you get. Now I've transferred the fine powder to a bowl. Now once this onion, ginger, garlic and red chilies also come to room temperature, we're going to grind it to a very fine paste. Now I'm going to add another half teaspoon of oil, and I'm going to fry the freshly grated coconut. So we're going to fry this till the coconut is nice and golden brown in color. Now I had soaked some tamarind in some hot water for about 5 to 10 minutes, and now we're just going to extract all the juice from the tamarind by just squeezing the tamarind this way. We're going to continue roasting or frying rather our freshly grated coconut. And I'm going to add this ground spice powder to this onion, red chili, ginger, garlic paste, and again grind all of them together to a very, very smooth paste. Now I also have some coconut milk, and that is the paste, and that is the reserve water. That is, once you take out the masala or the paste, you can just put some water in the mixer pot and wash it off. That is our reserve water. Now once our coconut has nicely cooled down to room temperature, we're going to grind it to a fine paste by adding very little water. So this is our paste. And now we're going to mix all three of them. That is, the coconut that we've ground to our other ground space. That is our shakuti masala ready. Now in a pan, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of oil and fry the small onion, which I've sliced. So like I said, that was the shakuti masala. So you can prepare it ahead of time and store it in your refrigerator and make this shakuti whenever you feel like. So this is I'm adding the slit green chilies. I'm also going to be adding this mixture of garam masala, haldi powder and red chili powder. And now we're going to add our shakuti masala. Now the most important thing is frying this masala very well, because we really want this flavor to, the real flavor of this masala to come out. So you have to fry this on a low to medium flame for at least 5 minutes. That's very key. So after frying this well, now we're going to add our chicken. And I'm going to fry the chicken in this masala also for at least another 5 minutes. So you come to know that the chicken is, nice and fried, because first it's a pink color, and as you keep frying it with the masala, you'll see that it changes to a white. And this is also very key to this recipe, that is, when you fry the chicken well with the masala, it really, gets into the chicken, and you can really taste the flavor of the masala. Now, after frying it well, I'm adding the reserve water. You can add, water as per your choice if you wanted a thinner gravy or a thicker gravy. Now I'm just adding some salt to taste and a little bit of sugar, a pinch of sugar. Mix everything together, and I'm going to cover and simmer this for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So we want to simmer this well so it gets cooked well. Now after simmering it for about 5 to 10 minutes, you can see the lovely color of this masala and everything, and the entire home just is filled with this aroma of shakuti. So now I'm just going to be adding this coconut milk. Now I will leave the instructions of how I extracted this coconut milk in my description box below. Now there are two ways. One is that you take half a cup of grated coconut, fresh coconut, you grind it in your mixer, you keep adding a little bit of lukewarm water, and you start extracting the juice by squeezing out the juice. Now adding the tamarind juice to this to the curry. So like I said, you can extract that way. And another shortcut method is, okay, I'm adding a little chopped coriander and mixing it in well. The other shortcut method is you get this coconut milk powder, ready-made powder. So you just take some hot water, you add about 4-5 tablespoons of this coconut milk powder into it. You just stir it all together and your coconut milk is ready. So if you don't have the time to make it, the coconut milk, you can just use the shortcut method. And that's it, friends. After simmering it for another 5 to 7 minutes, our delicious Goan shakuti is all ready. This is my mom's recipe, and my mom used to make it I think on Sundays. And the best part about this shakuti is it tastes amazing the next day or even a day after. And I personally love to have it with some broon pao. I don't know how many of you like to have, meat curries the next morning for breakfast with broon pao. But I love doing that. You just dip, your broon pao, or as it's called, kadak pao. You dip it into this lovely curry and you have it. It's just a different taste altogether.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Akshata's Recipes. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching today's recipe. I hope you give it a try, and if you liked it, then don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to Akshata's Recipes by hitting the red subscribe button that you see just below this video. And once you have subscribed, click the bell so every time I put up a new video, you'll be the first one to know. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!